Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some beautiful, wonderful things about ourselves. So I want to say thank you guys so very much for coming by and hanging out with me today. What's going to happen is that I'm going to be pulling out one of my I am cards off the deck. And this week we have five new ones. So I'm really excited about it. Three of them are completely new messages, and two of them are reworks of older cards that I liked the card, I liked the message, I didn't like the picture all that much, and so it's a lot of fun to be able to just iterate these things. So we're going to pull a card off the top of the deck. It's going to have a positive affirmation on it. I'm going to ask you if you are that affirmation, and you're going to respond, "I am." And I am going to affirm that for you. So let's begin by saying that today I am aligned. I am aligned. I move with purpose in my chosen direction. So I am aligned. I move with purpose in my chosen direction. Are you aligned? You are aligned. You move with purpose in your chosen direction. I chose the the imagery of the archer bending a bow because if you've ever shot a bow, you understand that uh, that shooting a bow is really about pointing the bow in the general direction of the target and then allowing your eye knows where the arrow goes more so than your hands do. It's really interesting. So when we shoot a bow, it's very much a trusting our eyes thing more so than aligning our hands thing. Really a very interesting, it's just very interesting to watch an arrow go fly toward the target, and you know the moment that you boost it whether or not it's going to hit the bullseye before it even hits. It's very similar with shooting, although shooting is a lot faster than shooting an arrow. So I am going to write down "I am aligned" into the comments, and as I do that, I'm basically bringing this into the world, and so I encourage you to do the same exact thing. I'm going to say "I am aligned. I move with purpose in my chosen direction." And I see you there, Lauren. Good morning. I see you there, Shauna, as well. Good morning. You are two very aligned ladies. And thank you for being aligned with the wake up call with Maui Paul today. It is fun to see you here. Yes, indeed, you ladies are aligned in your chosen directions. In fact, I watch both of you move with great intention in the directions that you choose, and it's a lot of fun. So, Lauren, are you back from Panama yet? I know that you were down in Panama for a while, Panama City, a city that I have visited many times. The Panama Canal is super fun. And actually, that brings to mind a story about alignment. So when I did my first major Central American trip, I was or my yeah my first major trip throughout all Central America. I was actually riding a motorcycle from Pennsylvania all the way down to Costa Rica. I ended up in Panama, though not with the motorcycle because of various international laws. If I had taken the motorcycle out of Costa Rica, I couldn't have brought it back in for another 3 months. So I didn't take the motorcycle out of Costa Rica into Panama. I left it in Costa Rica. But as I was heading south, I I had the misfortune that basically all of my technology broke. So when I went there, I had prepared things to make my life easier as I traversed every Central American country. And so everything from language guides to currency guides to what are the procedures at the borders, all of this stuff was stored on my computer, on my tablet, etc. All that stuff broke. My GPS stopped working. All the stuff that I figured that I would need in order to go from Pennsylvania all the way down to Costa Rica, which is quite a bit of a journey. I couldn't rely on any of that stuff. I crossed the border into Mexico, and about 24 hours later, I found myself in Mexico with no idea, um, with no guidance, I should say, as to how I should continue. And so I remember that the way that I solved the problem, I was like, well, I mean, I could hang out, I could hole up in a hotel room in Mexico and rebuild all this stuff and buy another computer and do that. Or I could align myself to the south and hit the throttle. And so I chose option number two. I stuck a compass on my handlebars of my motorcycle, and I'm like, I know I'm going south. I know from looking at globes that this continent gets really skinny around Panama. So if I continue heading south on major roads and then stop at places that are interesting and chat with locals about interesting stuff, that I will eventually get to my chosen destination. I simply have to align myself to it. I don't need to know every single one of the steps. My GPS was messing up anyway. My GPS was taking me down roads that didn't even exist. So I'm like, okay. So that's what I did. I basically just headed south and kept on going until the continent got really skinny. And when I got to Costa Rica, I knew where I was because I had lived in Costa Rica for a little while prior to that. So once I got to Costa Rica, I was like, well, okay, now I know exactly where I'm at. And then I went over to my hotel that I had already lined up down there. But ultimately, being aligned is about setting a direction and about understanding the big picture of our direction. And it's not necessarily about all the tiny little steps that we take to get there. Those tiny little steps that we take to get there kind of take care of themselves. They become self evident as we travel down the road. And that's really how I felt when I was on the motorcycle, was that I didn't know exactly which roads I was going to take. I had micromanaged the whole thing before I even left, and I knew turn by turn how I was going to travel from Pennsylvania all the way down to Panama. That's a long trip, and I knew turn by turn how I was going to do it. I had obsessed over it for months. And then I lost all of that obsession, and I just had to go on intuition. I just had to say, well, I'm heading south, and I'm currently in Mexico and I'm heading toward Guatemala, so follow the signs. Like, go south, and when I get close enough to Guatemala, follow the signs. And so that's exactly what I did. And it really taught me something. It taught me that I can travel across the world without a map, but a compass is sure is useful. I can travel across the world with a globe and a compass. And yeah, I'm glad you love the story there, Lauren. It taught me some really valuable stuff about myself and about just how hands off that we can be, even as we accomplish the things that are so important to us. So I am aligned today, and I am aligned this week. This week I've actually written down in my little to do book all the action items that I'm going to do for my major projects. So I have some milestones for major projects that are written down, and on Friday of this week, I'm actually going to be sending my first deck of I am cards off to the printer. So I will have these things back to me in like playing card form, except oversized playing cards, because let's face it, messages like like I am blessed, which is the card that I pulled on Sunday to really define my week. Messages like that really should be big and in our world. So I'm going to have a set of these cards coming in, or a couple sets of these cards coming in next week sometime. They're coming off to the printer on Friday. They should be here like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to have these things big in my world. It's wonderful to have physical copies of the stuff that we're making, because it just shows that it's becoming real. So, anyways, I'm excited about that. Today I'm aligned with that goal. I know that you guys are aligned with that goal, and I will see you again tonight at 9 p.m. for Nightfall, where we will discuss this card again and how it showed up in our lives. So I see you there, Jelly. Good morning. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Shauna. Good morning, Brenda Jean. I see you guys all there having some fun here with the morning broadcast. Just so you guys are aware, Brenda Jean does a yoga, a morning body, basically body recomposition. It's for physical wellness. It's really gentle stretching to help people get into their bodies at 8 o'clock on her channel, and I'm really excited to attend that. I'm making some promo videos today that will bookend this broadcast, which will have more details about that. But if you're friends with Brenda Jean, just know 8 a.m. every morning, she's there doing some yoga. I'm pretty sure you attend that one, Lauren. Anyways, guys, I am running a little bit long here, so I want to say thank you for coming on by. If you If you need a particular affirmation, I have them on my YouTube stream. And as you are exiting, if you think that this message was worth spreading, and I would appreciate it if you shared it around the world. So I will talk to you guys soon, and aloha from paradise.